Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi and greetings to all. I am Nazira Maripat and I would like to present the paper titled A Conceptual Framework Determinants of Food Waste Behavioral Intention Among Millennials in Food and Beverage Industry. The reduction of food waste directly affects on Sustainable Development Goals (SDG), where the aim is under SDG 12.3, which is seeking to halve food waste at the retail and consumer level by 2030. The food and beverage industry show that the waste during the phase of consumption, with 93% of consumer behavior being the key driver of food waste. In addition, millennials show that they contribute to food waste where they have a positive attitude towards online shopping and tend to patronize food service enterprise. To understand the food waste issue, Ruth proposed that environmental concerns and materialism values are factors influence the food waste generation. In this context, consumers who lack food capability to manage food waste are a major cause of food waste generation. Hence, self-efficacy will explain how capabilities contribute to food waste reduction. So here, this conceptual paper will discuss the determinants of food waste behavioral intention among millennials to better understand the millennials' consumer toward food waste issues in the food and beverage industry in Malaysia. From the past study, the environmental concern, materialism value, and self-efficacy have a relationship directly and indirectly with food waste behavioral intentions. The millennials, in the context of terms youth, is referred to a group that is widely regarded as one of the most wasteful consumers. So there isn't a need to study of this generation towards food waste behavior. Environmental concerns have a relationship towards food waste behavioral intention. Based on the previous study, Abdurradi found that by understanding more about the issues of food waste, environmental concern is increased. Other than that, materialism value is one of the characteristics of sustainable lifestyles, where the previous study found that the less materialism value will make the strong environmental values and more life satisfaction toward behavior in the context of food waste behavior. Food waste behavior intention is one of the studies that adopt from theory of planned behavior (TPB). This theory is commonly applied to predict human behavior intention, and some previous studies test the extended variables such as price, consciousness, and food taste to understand food waste in the restaurants. Therefore, there is a need to determine more variables that can influence the food waste behavioral intention. Self-efficacy is a key driver of consumer attribute to understand the food waste behavioral intention based on the application of self-efficacy theory, so that self-efficacy can be predicted as a mediating variable between environmental concern, materialism value, and food waste behavioral intention. Based on the literature review, there are 7 hypotheses we developed from the variable in this study. The hypothesis has been clarified in the form of a conceptual framework. So this is a proposed conceptual framework for this study, where the dependent variable is food waste behavior intention of millennial generation in Malaysia. The independent variable is consumer values, which consists of environmental concern and materialism values. Next is self-efficacy, predicted to mediate the relationship between consumer values, dimension, and food waste behavioral intention. The study proposed using quantitative methods to describe the relationship between variables. This study using online survey questionnaire and predict to collect data in the end of the year. For target population, the sampling focus is millennial consumer. In addition, this is a purposive sampling because the sample only examines a millennial generation in Malaysia who have eating out in the past 3 months. An online survey questionnaire we develop and adopt from the past study and will be distributed using online survey platforms such as email, related social media like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. There are two stages for data collection. The first stage is to examine using pilot study with 30 respondents. The second stage is using fieldwork, which is using online survey questionnaire. The purpose of questionnaire measurement is using 5-point Likert scales. To analyze the data, the study using structural equation modeling. Some of expected discussion will be explained in this study. The research is to discover a significant positive influence of consumer value dimension on self-efficacy and food waste behavioral intention in the food and beverage industry in Malaysia. There will be a significant positive relationship between consumer values and self-efficacy, where self-efficacy will have a positive effect on food waste behavioral intention. This study also contributes the knowledge of variables that influence food waste behavioral intention among millennials consumers in Malaysia. And then the finding will predict that self-efficacy can be a driver of motivation between value dimension and food waste behavioral intention. Next, I would like to state the three research contributions from this study. The first contribution is development of a new research model. From the study, it bridged the knowledge gap by identifying behavioral factors that are both directly and indirectly among millennial consumer and food waste behavioral intentions. Another research contribution is selection of study population, where this study focused on millennials population. By assessing population, it's important to provide valuable input to stakeholders in the food and beverage industry to formulate food waste management strategies. The last contribution is from the practical implication of study. The study will contribute to the employees in food and beverage and the consumer. From the finding of this study, the industry player, especially food and beverage industry, will train the employees in effective and efficient way to manage food in food and beverage industry. Other than that, the finding of study also give a direction to consumer to build awareness and motivate them about the issues of food waste behavior. In conclusion, the paper suggests a research proposal to the dimension of consumer values, namely environmental concern and materialism values, self-efficacy, and food waste behavioral intention to determine millennials' consumer behaviors intention toward food waste in the food and beverage industry. Recognizing the nature of consumer value towards food waste behavioral intention will help food and beverage industry to understand consumer behavior and formulate strategies to manage food more effectively. That's all from me. Thank you.